Do it now. Get to the chop up. Bring in the new Yets 2022. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Caliber Corner, episode number 217, season 4. I hope everybody had a safe and wonderful New Year's Eve. Welcome to 2022. We've got a huge group joining us today. We've got Squibload. We got a lot of you out there on the YouTube side that are watching. Today's discussions, it's actually an annual chat that we have, believe it or not. I kind of use this to hold myself accountable for my New Year's resolutions, which most people break. But your 2A resolutions, what are you going to do to promote the Second Amendment this year? Are you going to keep doing what you're doing? Are you going to try to get more active? Looking back on it, there's quite a few things I did. There's quite a few things I didn't do. So I think it's kind of nice to have that self-accountability. Before we get started, we'll go ahead and let Squibload introduce himself. He's still waking up. I'm still waking up. The world is still waking up. But let's go ahead and get started anyway. So Squib, how's it going, man? How you doing? Nursing that cup of coffee this morning?
I'm looking over at the coffee pot. It's just started brewing. Yeah, I'm going commando here, I guess, or something. I don't know. I'm just no, that could be mistaken for something else. No, maybe I'm doing that too. I don't know. But yeah, I got out of bed. I got out of bed maybe 18 minutes ago. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I purposely sent the links out late because I didn't know if anybody was going to be around. Figure people are busy with family and stuff. If anything, we can just kick back and chat and get you well caffeinated. And anybody out there chiming in on the YouTube side, why don't you let us know what you're going to do to promote the Second Amendment this year, whether it's joining a local, pro 2A group, or maybe you're going to get active, or who knows, right? Go ahead and share what you guys are planning on doing. But let's give a little shout out to those early birds that are joining us on the YouTube side. We got tacos and French fries out there. We've got Gunmetal Guy USA. We've got Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy. We got Kendrick 98 is in the house. Kendrick 98 says, "Don't appendix carry commando." Never. M. Gabriel says, "Squib Mando." Oh man, Squib, I don't know what you just started. Buck is out there. We got Scott 79. We got Jason Stewart, William Maney. I saw William Trader earlier. Tommy Gunn's with us. Mike's out there. Sam of Anarchy 92, Jason Stewart, and I did see a little Kingpin going on over there, if I'm not mistaken. M. Gabriel was the first person to chime in. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have everybody here. Just kind of updates on the channel, some stuff you should probably know. Next Saturday is going to be a super duper early episode. So panelists, if you can't make it, I totally understand. Work obligations continue on Saturday mornings. I've got Zoom calls. I have to be in by 8 o'clock. So we'll do an early episode next week. Not sure about the topic. If anybody wants to suggest topics for this year, go ahead and put that in the YouTube chat, or just go ahead and leave comments if you're watching this on the replay, and let me know what you'd like to hear us talk about or discuss. We haven't really gone over calibers for a year or two, where we just talk about a caliber in general and our experiences with it. And we're going to kind of start that up today as we talk about the one caliber that we see as our be it all, end it all caliber that can handle all of our gun needs, right? Is there one caliber out there that does it for us? Squib and I are going to have a debate on that. So we'll see if we can agree to disagree on that particular topic. Defense Dad says, "Yo, getting ready for work." Defense Dad, you guys should be closed today, man. Tony York is out there. He says, "Howdy, Grandpa." All right. And we'll go from there. Squib, are you a grandpa? Is he talking to you?
I mean, my older son might be up to something he hasn't told me.
Oh, there you go. Grandpa Squib. Oh man. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started.
I'm from down south, so I'd want to be called Papa.
Papa or Pappy or
Papa.
Papa. I've never heard that one before. That is a new one. That's a new one for us Yankees. Yeah. Papa. Papa. I've heard Papa or Pappy, or I just use grandpa. Grandpa's what I use. But Tony says that was to gun loving grandpa. Oh, I didn't see gun loving grandpa out there. Okay, I got you. All right, Buck's out there. Tony York says the one caliber to rule them all, 22 LR. I mean, he's got a point. Wasn't there like statistics at one point or another that 22 LR was the caliber that's ended more human lives than any other caliber or something like that? I can't remember or it does every year or something. No, 22 LR.
22 long rifle is the caliber. It's kind of like when you hand somebody a sleeve of 100 as a gift. When you're not looking, they throw it in the bushes behind them.
Yes,
that's what kind of a
like Jimmy did to you in Vegas. Yeah,
maybe.
He was expecting a nice hot case of 454 Casull or something, or 500 Smith. And
he wanted some 10mm auto, which, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad
seriously?
round to use for deer hunting.
No, that's a fantastic round. You know, and the funny part is, I had a box of that when you stopped by. I had a box I could have given you to give to him because that was one of the few calibers that was on the shelves consistently at Shields during the ammo drought. Like you could always get 10 millimeter. Nobody wanted it. Yeah. Oh, there are some.
That would have made a even better because I could have come back and go, oh man, I was just kidding about the 22. Here's a box of 10 millimeter. Hey, can I have that box?
P11's got your back.
And then, hey, can I have that box of 22 back? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, let me go to my. Why don't you go over there and I'll go grab it out of my car and yeah.
All right. So next time I go to Vegas, we got to do it. First off, I have better audio. The audio was terrible. We had all this background noise.
Yeah.
We're in a parking lot behind a casino. And it was terrible. And then we were trying to work on the lighting, right? So we're trying to use the street light, the parking lot lights as lighting, and we moved from spot to spot to spot. And this, here walking around with the tripod. And all this
it seriously looked like some shady deal was about to go down or something, Yeah.
Now, I think if I did it again, maybe bring a light on a tripod and pair of lapel mics.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but that would have been even funnier if I had come back from the phone call, air quotes phone call, and I go, "Oh man, I was just kidding about the 22 thing. Here's a box of 10 millimeter. I know that's what you really wanted. Can I have the 22 back?"
So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you got to check out Squibload's channel. He's got some really funny videos that he made up on his little road trip out west. You did a public service announcement talking about how Michigan was going to help Nevada with their water crisis. Is that right? You did that video. That was that really pulled at the heartstrings, even though I'm not a resident of either state.
I did a video where I was on the phone to you telling you how to meet women.
And I had no idea that was, I don't know how I missed that was intended for me. I didn't, did you say Travis P11 in that video?
No, I'm just kidding. It could have been anybody.
Okay. Cause I mean,
it could have been, no, but when you made your comment on the video, I'm like, dude, that was you. I was just pulling your leg. Yeah.
Do we still have the Olight video? Have you worked on that one? I can't remember. Is that one done
last night I went into that folder and made sure I had the intro. I actually filmed some more last night. I was out tracking a deer and I was out in the cornfield and I was using the Olight out there. So I've got some footage of me walking around in the dark with it. What I need to do is get it all together. This is what I'm waiting on, the clip. So there's that blue clip for the Olight. I lost it somewhere between the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. And it hasn't come back into stock. And I want to wait for that to come back. But maybe I should do just a short part 2. And when it does come back, say that you can buy the clip if you ever happen to lose it at a casino or something.
Oh yeah. The back of the parking lot while filming with Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. We got roll call 219 out there right now. Now, Gunmetal Guy USA. This is an interesting scenario because I've been in this situation before. He goes, what I'm doing he goes, well, the times that we're in, I'm no longer the mysterious gun guy at work. I've got 2 guys asking buttloads of firearm questions and they want a coworker range trip. So that's happened to me several times before too. Like I'm the gun guy. I'm the person to come to if you got firearms questions. Like just out of the blue, I've got friends of mine that I hadn't spoken to in a long time. Good friends, but just hadn't really talked to. Just call me out of nowhere. Like, hey, we need to get a firearm. What do you recommend? It's like, well, let's go ahead and get started. It's kind of nice being that person. So hopefully, if we are that person, we're going to give some solid advice. But I don't know. Squib, you ever been in a situation like that where somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, can you recommend something? Or you had to intervene in a gun conversation at work or anything? Has that ever happened to you?
At this job, it's happened twice. One guy come up to me and he said, yeah, I heard you're the gun guy. I need some input on buying a shotgun. And I'm not much of a shotgun guy. I'm not against them. I need to know more or learn more. But I use that as an excuse not to tell him, because what I really wanted to say is, dude, I'm pretty sure federal law prohibits you from owning a firearm, but I didn't want to, I'm at work, right? I had another guy, new guy. He was talking to me. He goes, yeah, so word is you're the gun guy around here, and it's like, okay, I don't know what exactly that means. I had one guy once try to lecture me on why I'm so dangerous because I own 9 guns and he owns 1. And then after we had a conversation, I pretty much had him convinced that he needs to get rid of his gun and get a dog.
So for some people, that's the best thing.
In his case, it was because he
Yeah.
knew nothing about firearm safety or gun laws.
Oh man, yeah. If you don't think that person can be safe around it, then maybe they just need a good Rottweiler, and that's pretty much it. And some training for that dog, you know.
At my last job, when corporate decided they wanted to put the decals on the door with the, you know, you can't bring a Beretta 92 in here.
Or Glock.
Yeah. First, they handed it to me. My boss handed the job to me to order these things, which I never did, right? And he did that because he knew that I wouldn't order them. Then when they finally got them, he you know, somebody got it for him, another location or whatever it came in. He gave them to me to put up, and I never put them up. They ended up going up after I left that place, but he did it intentionally because, like, oh yeah, he's got it, and yeah, right.
What a jerk.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Him and I both knew those signs didn't hold the weight of law in this state.
Oh yeah,
that sign, you can't prosecute anybody just because there's a "Don't bring a Beretta in here" sign.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless, like, say it's like a hospital or a church or a school. I mean, in those situations, sometimes it gets amped up a little bit. But, well, I guess maybe it depends on the state though too. You know,
the hospital. One of the three, we've got three major hospitals right by us. One of the ones, they've got a checkpoint when you come in, and you go through a metal detector. And if you are armed, they will put your gun in a lockbox in the back. And then when you go to leave, you just check out and you recover your firearm. That's it. And the guy was explaining to me, he was really pro 2A. I'm not saying he's still there. He's there 24/7. But I thought that was a good, dare I say the word, compromise, right? You can bring your gun. You're not violating any law. But if they want to lock it up, and you can just get it on the entrance and the exit are the same thing, right? So I didn't think that was too bad.
No, I think that's fair. It's good. It's if you know, you want to be able to at least keep it near you, but not have to worry about getting in trouble if you have it on you, you know. So hey, let's go ahead and let Single Shot introduce himself. Single Shot, how's it going? What are you up to, brother? What are you doing?
Oh, just leaving the truck stop here in Connecticut.
Okay.
And headed home. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you too, man. Heck yeah.
Year.
How's the weather out east right now? We're expecting some scary blizzard at any moment, but it's not just cloudy and windy and cold right now. What about you guys? You get any snow out there? Single Shot?
No, I'm in Connecticut. It's just rain and foggy drizzle right now. 54 degrees, so.
Oh, 54.
Yeah.
That would be nice. We're at a balmy 2 right now, and it feels like 10 below with the wind chill. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's brutal out right now.
You can have that.
Well, it's been a very mild winter. I can't complain. This is the first couple days. Last couple days, it's finally gotten really chilly, but oh man, not good. Not good.
How you doing, Squib?
I'm halfway through my first cup of coffee.
Ah, there you go.
Once he gets that half a pot down, he's more chatty. So yeah.
You get coffee on the road, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is there one truck stop over another that you prefer their coffee?
Actually, there's two. I like the coffee at TA, and Flying J has some pretty good coffee too. So
all right.
Get my coffee.
I was kind of wondering from somebody who does this for a living. I haven't gone to a TA for coffee. I think I had Flying J coffee once. I've had it at Love's. I've had it at.
Well, Flying J is a truck stop chain.
Yeah. So I'm talking about chains or something that you're more like Sap Brothers is. You know, they're not everywhere, but yeah. Right. So maybe next time I'm on the road, I will purposely try some TA coffee. Maybe I'll do a tailgate coffee review.
There you go. I usually get just the regular blend. I don't get anything special, but I do like my French vanilla creamer, and once in a while I'll have the dark roast. If I stop at a Love's, which we don't frequent very much at all, I'll get the dark roast. That's pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that Love's Rewards program there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got a free pop out of it or whatever. But whenever I'm when I had to go up north to go get my 2020 deer tag, they got the patches you get, the successful hunter patches, so you can collect them. my wonderful governor decided to close down all the DNR stations on this side of the state, so I had to drive about 2 hours north. Oh yeah,
Wonderful.
She can just whatever. Anyhow,
yeah,
I had to drive about 2 hours up north, and there's a Love's on the way, and so there's a Love's going north, and there's a Love's going towards Ohio, but that's really about it in my area. There isn't anything else, and whenever I'm there, I pick up some diesel exhaust fluid or something like that. So, trying to keep it active so that next time I take a road trip and I go there, that the rewards are still good. I'm hoping maybe at some point I'll get more than just a free pop out of it.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. If you fuel at Love's, you get, I think it's like a penny a gallon or something like that you earn on your points. I do that with a TA card on the diesel, and it doesn't take long at all to gather up 500-600 points. They come in handy.
Yeah, especially if you consistently stop there. Casey's does. I know they're not a truck stop, but Casey's does a pretty good reward system too, and they got a grind and brew system for their coffee makers now. It is freaking awesome. It grinds it at the time that it brews it. That's one of the better coffees that I've had. But I need to stop. We have a TNA station not too far. When I go out west on the
TA, not TNA.
not TNA. T/A.
Travis is gonna stop for some TNA.
Oh my God!
See the Travis video, man. It got to
you guys, I swear. But TA. Sorry, I'm still waking up myself. But yeah, okay. I got one for public pantry that'll take guys off camera too. Yeah, telling you, man, this is what happens. This is what they got, this rowdy crowd that shows up. So we need to do a TA coffee comparison, I think. So, all right. So what we got all kinds of comments floating in. Let's check this real quick. Gunmetal Guy USA says, since we have truckers in the chat, do they have links or recommendations for YouTube channels to check for guys interested in trucking?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You just go on to YouTube main channel and type in trucking, and it comes up with all kinds of them. Oh yeah.
There's this mysterious YouTuber who goes by the name of it's like DC Gun Channel. He's got like 6 channels, and I think he's also a trucker because he did a ton of trucking videos at one point. I think it's DC Channel Guns is what his name is, but he puts out a video like every single day, and he's got multiple channels. So yeah.
I got a friend of mine. I can't remember his name now. It escapes me for some reason, but he's got a channel, and he's a Northwest driver, Canadian driver. He runs up in the Northwest a lot, and boy, he's got some pretty good videos on his channel. I wish I could remember what the heck his channel name was.
If you just do a search, maybe type in like Canadian truckers, it'll probably one of those videos will probably pop up in the algorithm because it's going to give you the most watched, most popular channels, usually initially, or the most trending videos. So that would definitely be the thing to check out. Me personally, I don't. I mean, I was a fan of ice road truckers for a couple of years, but that's about as far as my trucking experience ever got me. So, yep.
Travis, speaking of ice road, road, I was in PA. What is this? 4 years ago, I think it was. There's a TA at a town called Lamar, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And that's a pretty good sized truck stop. And I stop there quite often when I go. It's on I-80. So I stopped there one night, and I was coming around the parking lot trying to find a place to park, and right in front of me was the show truck. This thing was gorgeous. These guys took an old B model Mac, completely redone it, stretched it. They had a custom studio trailer, studio support trailer.
Oh my God.
That they had behind that. They actually was headed to New York City. They had to get special permits to get down into that area, escorts, the whole 9 yards. But I was standing there looking at all over. Beautiful mural on that side of that truck. Absolutely gorgeous. And,
so this is for a YouTube channel? Oh, it was for ice road truckers?
This was for the show. This was for the show, ice road truckers.
It was a YouTube channel. I was like, damn, I wish I had a support trailer every time I went to the range.
Kind of like a NASCAR trailer, maybe?
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
I was standing there looking at the murals on the side of the truck, and I had my little camera with me, and it's just one of those cheap digital cameras. And it was getting towards dark. Fellow come out and he says, "Can I help you?" I says, "Yeah. Do you mind if I take some pictures of the truck?" He says, "No, I don't mind it at all. Go ahead," he says. So I took a few pictures and I says, "Do you have the cast with you?" He says, "Oh yeah, Alec was with him." So I waited for a few minutes, and sure enough, here he comes out of the truck stop, walking right towards me. And I couldn't believe it. This man, he looks, he's pretty good sized fella, and he looks pretty good sized when they in the show. I didn't think he was about 6'3", and his hand was nearly twice the size of mine. This fellow was a big man. And I told him, I says, "You know something, you really scared the crap out of me on one of the episodes that you guys did." He says, "Which one was that?" And I says, "The one where you had the heart attack." I says, "Man, I'll tell you, I thought you was history."
I remember that episode. Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, it was close." I never smoked in my life until that happened. Then I picked up smoking. I says, "That wasn't a good thing to do." He chuckled and he says, "Oh yeah," but he had some bookmarkers with his picture on them. The man went into the show trailer, found one of them, and autographed it and gave it to me. I've got it in this truck right now.
That's awesome, man. And it seems like they're pretty much down-to-earth people, just regular everyday people that are just having their lives filmed. They kind of become celebrities being on History Channel and stuff like that. But yeah.
He definitely is very much down to earth. He's got a big family too. Good night. That man's got a big family. But what a character.
He goes back to the first season, right? I mean, he was one of the original drivers on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I used to take and tape that series off of the DVR, and then I would go through them and edit the commercials out. So I had just about all show, the intro, the outro, and the breaks. It showed the breaks where I took the commercials out. Usually you had an hour show and end up with about 42, 43 minutes of show, actual show. I had that entire series before that fire.
You got the director's cut. There you go.
Oh,
the series right there. Yeah, there you go. Take out all the unnecessary filler. That's awesome.
But, but I met him. I met 2 or 3 other celebrities out here on the road, and you just never know when you're going to walk into them. It's a shock to the system, to say the least.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had an article in the newspaper about John Madden. They had to take a pit stop with his bus, and they took this exit to a city called Beaver Crossing, which is a tiny town outside of Lincoln, Nebraska. And the bus rolled up, and he spent the day there with everybody, had lunch and stuff, and signed autographs and showed people his tour bus. And so, like, people were just recalling it. It's just such a downer, just massive personality on TV, football coach and stuff. And just as a regular person was just a decent person, just normal everyday person, just like you and I. So, yeah. Oh man. So we got our first question here of 2022. Let's see if we can answer this one. I think I've heard about this one.
Regular people.
Yep. This is true. So Sam of Anarchy wants us to answer this question for me. He's chimed me a couple times in the chat here. He goes, so in theory, is there a way to magazine feed 30-30 in an AR platform, the same round as a Winchester 1894? The AR-15 has been chambered, I think, in just about every caliber that's possible right now. I mean, I swear it's been 243, 270, 308, 5.56, 7.62 by 39. Have you guys ever seen a 30-30 or an AR-15 chambered in 30-30?
Never.
I thought somebody was working on one, but
yeah, the closest you're going to get to it, because it's a little bit more horsepower, but you could have a barrel built around the 308 Marlin The thing about 30-30 in an AR platform is you got to deal with the rims on the cases.
Yeah, that's what it's saying here. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah.
But as far as that goes, for equality between the calibers, 7.62 by 39 and 30-30 are pretty close. Just the difference in the bullet weight.
So, I mean, obviously your bolt's going to have to be machined differently for a 30-30. I mean, that's one thing. It says you'd have to move up to the 308 AR platform. So you'd be looking at an LR, SR, or DPM AR-10 platform if you're going to run 30-30 just because of the size of the round. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to run just AR-15, compatibility is not going to be there if you were talking the 5.56 platform. So, I mean, it probably is possible, but it doesn't look like what I can see right now. It doesn't look like anybody makes one, but I'm not saying that somebody couldn't, because I mean, there's just, if there's a caliber that can be, if there's a way to modify an AR-15 or AR-10 to shoot a particular caliber, it seems like somebody's come out with it, even if it's like a high-end boutique, expensive company. I mean, it's been done. I've seen 270 and 243 ARs before. Bear Creek Arsenal makes uppers for them, but I've seen like full-on guns designed, for 243 and 270, and they're super expensive. I think I've actually talked about them before on the channel. So,
I think about the biggest problem that one would have if they were to go about doing that is actually there's two problems: the shape of the magazine, and you'd have to be very careful of how you loaded it. You'd have to put the first one in, and then the second one on top of it would have to go behind the rim of that first one, and it staggers it. So you'd have a larger magazine, wider, and you'd have more curvature to it. But I mean, it's done. I mean, you're dragging off.
I was going to say, if you can do a 7.62 by 54R with that rimmed round, it is possible to make them feed in a certain way. Yeah. So it is possible. That would be cool. That'd be really cool if they could do that. And a lot of people say, well, why would you do that? Well, why not? Who cares? Just to see if you can even do it. I mean, it might be somebody's favorite round. Rupan RX out there says, I've got a 243 AR-10. So,
I've got one.
It's
308. That thing is accurate, too, let me tell you. Last time I had that out, I was running PMC Gold with 150 grain FMJs out of that thing, 200 yards, and I could cover that group with a nickel.
Oh, wow.
That thing is accurate. She's heavy.
Pretty accurate.
It's a bench gun.
Yeah.
The thing weighs 14 pounds unloaded. So you're not going to tote that thing in the woods.
I was going to say, not something you want to drag through the forest, It's, maybe set it up like on like a mount or something, or like a bunker maybe, or a deer stand mount or something, Oh my God.
That thing
So Kingpin's got the advice of the year for everybody. He goes, do you all really want to start the year off being greedy? With your thumbs up, hit that button, says Kingpin. So thank you very much, Kingpin. What do we got last night? So Sam of Anarchy, hopefully we answered your question for you. It is possible, but I don't think that anybody actually makes one right now. Let's see. Kingpin also posted the link to the DC channel. If you go to DC channel's main channel, he's got links to his other channels on there. And he did trucking videos for a very long time. He kind of got away from gun videos for a while and did trucking videos. So that's the one. That's what I know. So Buck out there says, me and my son just built a 350 Legend. It's a nice round. Yeah, 350 Legend. The funny part about that is you can get this readily available at Walmart. And they got rid of all their black gun calibers, but they still kept 350 Legend, which you can get AR-15s chambered in 350 Legend, which is kind of funny. But, they also took out 300 Blackout and 5.56 and 7.62 by 39 and all that fun stuff. But, oh, man. Kyle Rust, good morning to you too. Good to see you. Defense Dad is telling us how he likes his coffee. Sergeant Joe Smith says the millionaire neighbors did fireworks till 2 a.m. You know what? It was so brutally cold here last night. They had fireworks for sale here in Nebraska, but I don't think I heard any of them go off at all. So
I did last night in Connecticut.
I know how that is. There are a lot of wealthy people at the lake, and they put their money together, and they have like a semi-professional fireworks show. I mean, it's you don't have to go to something, drive to something, and worry about the drive all the way back and all that. You just sit there and watch it. Yep. Hey, thank goodness for rich people.
No. Now Kendrick 98's asking a question here. Has anybody here on the panel ever tried Truck Stop Lot Lizard Coffee? Now, I don't know what a lot lizard is.
No.
But,
okay. So yeah.
No,
yeah.
We're going to steer clear of that one. That actually would be a great name for a cup of coffee, though. You could really do a lot with it. You could market that. I mean, that.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. It might seem a little bit strong at first, but then later it'll make you sick.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It might end up showing up 9 months later with a request for child support. So that could be a cup of coffee that could come back and burn you in the end. So, hey, firefighter out there, you got to email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and send you a link, firefighter. I missed your message earlier, so I do apologize for that. But, man, look at these temperatures. Who's out there? Sergeant Joe Smith says it's 68 degrees here. Ohio Wolverine says it's 52 out here in Cleveland. Oh, my God. I could imagine those temperatures right now. It's brutal outside. Defense Dad is saying that he doesn't own any Berettas, so he is all good. Morning, Grandma.
You want some coffee?
Yeah, I'll take another cup.
Okay.
Here's the bonus of staying with family, guys. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just gonna hand off that mug right there. We'll just.
That's mine.
Oh, okay.
You don't want peppermint, do you?
No, I don't do peppermint coffee. No.
Happy New Year, Grandma.
Morning, Grandpa.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Grandpa.
That's okay. You're done. I'll have you take me to the office.
Absolutely.
And then we'll go to the Pack and Save, pick up some cereal.
Sure, we'll go. It'll be fun. They got me lined up for road trips. We'll see if it's a raging blizzard. We're probably not going to go to the grocery store and get cereal. So
is this the in-person equivalent of the phone calls during the show?
I should be taking phone calls. We should do that. I should find out a way to post a number so people can call and can chime in with their messages if they have them and stuff. So
you're gonna have to get some sort of a boom mic on one of those, pivots or something. So it, and maybe a sign that says on air. And
oh yeah, definitely.
You're gonna need a producer on the other side of the glass.
Why don't Night Strike's got a way to do that? I think on GunTube he's got his number posted. You can call in on that, and they can take phone calls, or you can chime in with phone calls or something like that. So
and you got to make it sound like it's on a really crappy speakerphone, so it's got a little bit of an echo, and
that would be awesome. Oh, look at these temperatures. Mad Sexy says it's 38 degrees in California. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy says it's 39 here in my part of Michigan. So there we go. William
40.
Trader says it's 4 below in Wyoming. Yeah.
49 in Hartford, Connecticut.
We just sound like old men just complaining about, tacos and French fries says it's 74 degrees here in South Florida. Oh, my God.
Gee.
I can't complain. It's been a very mild fall here in Nebraska. It's been like we've had 50s and 60s. We even had one day where we got up to 70 before. The Twister Part 2 happened in our part of the state, but everybody's chiming in saying, hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. Yes. I decided to stay with the grandparents this evening. We got the whole family together and had dinner, and it was a pretty good time. Grandpa turned in early. It's about 8:30 when he went to sleep. And I got to admit, I didn't stay up past like 10 last night. I was watching the New Year's Rockin' Eve, and I'm not a big fan of modern music, so I wasn't really getting into any of the bands that were playing. And it's been the same stuff every year. I just pretty much, they were even showing like flashback concerts from like the early 2000s and stuff, because there was nobody that would perform.
Yeah, it sucked so bad they had to show footage from like the 80s and stuff, because I think they knew too. It's like, and who are these people? Like, I've never heard of these people. They can't perform. Everything's synthesized. It's just like, what?
Yeah, it was just not. And I thought the show was only like an hour long. They went like 3 hours last night. Did you notice that? I thought it was only like a 1 hour program. I thought they started at like 10 o'clock Central and went till 11 o'clock Central, midnight their time on the East Coast. But I don't know. Apparently it just, it didn't really work out. So what's going on here? So Jason Stewart says, so is Grandma and Grandpa named P7 and P8. They actually have different last name. They've got my mom's side's maiden name. So they'd have to be W7 and W8. So yeah, that just sounds much cooler. My dad's name is Paul, and he's going to come out. We're going to do a range video at some point. He's got my Beretta 92 FS, and we're going to do a Travis P11 versus Pauly P11 head-to-head video. So that's something we're going to definitely try. He wants to come shoot with me at the range. He's not been to the range since I moved out here to the eastern part of the state. So we're going to have a little father-son get together and do some shooting. Maybe we'll invite Defense Dad to officiate. So
cool.
What's going on here? Gunmetal Guys USA says, make sure to leave the Irish Chaser out of that coffee. Wink, wink. We want your non-comatose for the chat. Yeah, if I'm going to be doing any driving at all today, we're definitely not going to be drinking. I can tell you that. So. Jimmy Murray says 3 degrees in Omaha. There you go, Jimmy. I'll tell you what, you go outside, it feels a heck of a lot colder than 3 degrees. I will definitely say that. So, oh my God, crazy stuff. Well, let's get into our first little topic since we're about 35 minutes in. I think we've got everybody here hanging out. So it's good to see everybody joining in. I appreciate you guys being here and joining in. Looking back on 2021, I can go ahead and start this one off. What did I do that was pro 2A? Obviously, I make firearm content, right? And I mean, I do, promote our local NFOA, Nebraska Firearms Owner Association gun group, pro 2A advocate group. I do mention that quite a bit. I do participate in other chats where that comes up in the conversation. I did, and this isn't necessarily pro 2A, but we had 5 women in our family that got their concealed carry permit last March. So they all went and got firearms, got their classes taken, got themselves all set to go. Although Nebraska is going to push for our constitutional carry bill this year. If we can get that to go through, that would just be amazing. Good. We're surrounded by constitutional carry except for Colorado. And if we can take care of that, we just have a solid line all the way down. You could go north to south with constitutional carry in the United States if Nebraska passes it. And I hope they do. So, I mean, hopefully that's something that we can be advocates for, us Nebraskans. Going into 2022, I definitely want to help promote NFOA more. It's a nonprofit organization run by volunteers. Sandhills Media, Sandhill Shooter is part of that organization, and they do a lot. They go to a lot of the gun shows and pass out literature. They advocate for Nebraskans' gun rights. Very good organization. I don't do a whole lot of political videos. I think there's a lot of channels that do a much better job than I do at those things. Thank you, Grandma. Yep. But I definitely do what I can, and I'm going to keep being an advocate, as long as I possibly can. Yeah, every second matters. I mean, that's something that we all promote. We wear the hats and make videos and talk about it in our chats and stuff. Definitely a good one. So I don't know, Squib, what's your take on the 2A? Obviously, we're all pro 2A people here, but Squib, what do you think? You got any plans is there anything a person can do or should do? I mean, is it worth it to join some of the national gun groups like the GOA or the Second Amendment Foundation? What do you think, Squib?
Okay, I'm going to say something unpopular, as usual. Mm-hmm. They are a necessary evil. All these people, GOA, oh, they're so great. GOA, NRA sucks. GOA. The GOA is the exact same thing as the NRA. Seriously, they are. And they want to be the NRA. They want the NRA out of business, and they want to be the new top dog with the 5 million members and all the money and the Wayne LaPierre suits and everything else. Some people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Now, that being said, all of them, NRA, GOA, FPC, 2AF, and even to some extent your state ones, they're about money. They don't want the Second Amendment to be secure. They always want it to be in danger. They're only going to do so much to keep you sending your member dues, buying your junk, encouraging other people to join. They're about making money. It's the same thing with some of these organizations that have training and insurance. This is a business for them. I'm not saying they're not good people. I'm not saying they're not pro Second Amendment. They're not pro freedom. I'm not saying they don't have good knowledge or good stuff to pass on and things like that. But they are a necessary evil, and you are more or less paying them to be lobbyists for your rights, whether you like them or not. You have to make a decision on whether or not you want to put your money into them, which ones you want to, and how much effort you want to put into staying active as far as reading the stuff they send you or, getting involved in any of their events. Maybe you volunteer for something. Sometimes, like when I go to the gun show, right? And you can sign up to, you can renew your NRA membership right there. And then you don't have to pay an entrance fee to the gun show. That's usually how I will renew my membership, or go to Bass Pro Shop and they give you the gift card. I'm shopping anyhow. Yeah. Why not? Right. Yeah. So I 2 birds, 1 stone and done. And I'm a member to all of them. From time to time, I let my membership lapse, except the NRA, because the NRA is the one where if you let your membership lapse, you start back at square zero for your 5 years to be able to vote. And I like to be able to vote, even though, I've seen what they do with those. But still, I still try, just like going to our regular, government elections. I still try. Yeah. But if the other ones had something where they said, if you let this lapse, you're going to lose your spot in line, I might be a little bit more pay more attention. But I'll try to do the stuff where I buy the family plan, or I'll buy it 2 years at a time or something like that. Why don't I buy a lifetime? I don't want to buy a lifetime in any of them. One, my money supports them more. They're not going to make as much over time with that. And if any one of them turns into something that I don't approve of, I'm not stuck with the lifetime membership. That's my money, my choice. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. If you get a lifetime membership, it's a lot easier. You can just go, I'm done. It's so convenient. But there are all places where you can go. It's not just going to a gun show or Bass Pro Shop. If you go to your rallies, your state rallies, your state organizations should be there, and they should be offering memberships. What I like, you go to ours in Lansing, they have discounted memberships there. So like instead of $35 a year, it's $2 only that day if you sign up at the rally. You talk about a way to bring in members. Then you got the other ones. I've been to out-of-state ones and even some here at our state where it's like, nope, we don't offer a discount. It's like, do you not realize that you've got people who have never done this before, that they came with a friend or they heard about it, they're showing up here, and they still haven't even heard. They had no idea there's a state organization. Offer a special deal because you showed up in person. Hell, if you think about it, it might even be cheaper to drive out there, pay the parking fee than it is to, sign up for if you've got 3 state organizations and you're just renewing your memberships, you'd be like, I went to the rally today and supported the 2A and I saved myself $70, $80, right? So not all these organizations think about that because they're about money. Understand that they're about money first. If you can accept that, it's just like businesses. All businesses are in business to make money. They might make a good product. They might, make it here in America and support American jobs. They might this, they might that, but at the end of the day, it's a business and they've got to put the business first. So if you're willing to accept that they're a necessary evil and it's going to cost you, join whichever ones you think, I think at one point I was a member of 8 or 9. Okay. It gets expensive. It does. And I've heard some people say, I don't have money at all, but they can buy a pack of cigarettes, right? It's like,
yeah. Or you go to McDonald's and spend $9 on a Big Mac combo.
But it's your money. Spend it the way you want. If you just want to cross your arms and go, nope, you're right, they are necessary evils, and I don't trust any of them, I'm not giving them a damn dime. It's your money. Do what you want. But I think that if you open your eyes, you'll see that they're all pretty much just like the NRA, and they would all love to be the NRA and have the NRA's money. Another thing about the NRA, too, is your $25 membership doesn't pay for Wayne LaPierre's suit. Okay, that's the rich donors that give $50,000 a pop, $10,000 a pop, leave their estate to the NRA. That's what pays for the Wayne LaPierre suit. Your $25 barely pay the administration fees to process your membership and get your American Rifleman in the mail. Seriously, they make more money off of sponsors and they make more money off their life members, and they have people. They have FUDs out there that send them a check for $10,000 like it's nothing because they were reading in their American Rifleman or America's First Freedom. Oh my goodness, they're coming for your guns, and they'll just write a check. It's the same thing with the preacher at the pulpit saying, if we don't fill the offering plate, you're all going to burn in hell. And the next thing you know, there's a bunch of checks in the offering plate. It's the same tactic. So don't think that your money. I get so sick of hearing, well, I'm not giving my membership to Wayne LaPierre's Love Crib, dude. Your $25 doesn't even pay the light bill, dude. So, get over it. But I'm not saying that you have to be a member of every organization. It's a personal decision. Now, I will say this, though. I am disappointed in my state. My state firearms organizations, we have 3, okay? They are bad about getting the word out that there's going to be a rally, when, where, and getting it out in advance. And I've always been disappointed with that. And they don't seem to be interested in doing more about that. And that's something I'd like to see change. But I'm not about to run for the board of directors because I'm not driving all the way over there every time they have a meeting.
Oh, come on. You got the diesel that can do the long ranges.
That's true. It is getting like 32 miles per gallon on average. I think
if they pay mileage and you can write it off on your taxes, you can double tip, man. Come on.
25,000 miles on it. I think that I finally got the motor broke in because it's doing a lot better on mileage.
Yeah, there you go. Probably. But it's barely broken in. But you make a good point. The funny part is Gunmetal Guy USA out there. He said that, he had a really good comment that was directed towards you. Said the truth, I can't find much wrong with what he's saying, and it's true. I mean, they're necessary evils. They do make money off of it. Now, I will say this: the Nebraska Firearms Owner Association is volunteers for all the positions. There's no paid positions. They do have sponsors, and that's just to host the website. That's to produce the literature. They do go. It's all volunteers for NFOA, and anybody can join. You can be an out-of-state person and still join NFOA. You just can't vote for board members, but you can still receive our information and learn about what's happening in our state and stuff. So joining us from the East Coast, we got Kingpin. Kingpin, Happy New Year, man. How's it going?
Doing well. Happy New Year, everybody. Good to see everyone. Thanks for
welcome into the chat, man. So what do you think, man? Is there some truth behind what Squib is saying? What's kind of your experience with some of the gun groups that you read about or know about or follow or don't belong to? What do you think?
Man, I guess I could go along with the necessary evil thing, but I'm a little bit further extreme in the opposite direction as everybody else, and I think they're all a big waste of time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really all the 5 million members here and millions of members here and all the money going in and all this going in, and you don't really get anything for what all the hype is. And I know everybody's gonna and scream about stupid training and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's your fault for allowing the NRA to become a single monopoly and own everything.
But the lobbying part that they talk about, or the representational part that they talk about, at least that's what NFOA does for us. They are down there testifying against anti-gun bills, and that's a different kind of.
Yeah, the state organizations. I'm a lot more involved in support of state organizations.
Okay.
But these massive national organizations.
Yeah.
Now, the NRA didn't become a monopoly on training. That's what the NRA was founded for. Was to promote.
Wait! I thought everybody told me NRA was founded to train kids in safety.
No, the NRA was founded to promote shooting competition, training, safety, things like that. Then they got involved in laws. Then they found out they could make money lobbying, and then they turned into something else. Now they still have that. What they historically were, we're talking about the late 19th century was when the NRA was founded.
It was to make better riflemen, right? That was the idea. More accurate riflemen.
Yes,
was what I remember reading about the origins of it. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Because they had such bad marksmanship on one side in the Civil War and things like that. But the whole thing is, if you look at even some targets you buy, it'll say NRA, right? That's been an NRA target for like 100 years because this was something that they promoted and things like that. Mm-hmm. And they turned into something else because it became about money. At some point, somebody got in there that said we can use our pull to promote the Second Amendment, and then somebody else rubbed their hand together and we can cash in big time, more than we ever did. So it wasn't that they became a monopoly; they were a monopoly right from the get-go because nobody else was doing it. It's just they morphed into something else. But I do appreciate the fact that you have the courage to speak your mind about it and say what you want to say, not because you're trying to get attention or anything else like that. It's because you're using critical thinking. And that may be the most important thing that anybody can do for the Second Amendment is use critical thinking. Make a judgment based on your knowledge and your experience and make a difference based off that judgment.
And isn't it nice we can have a healthy discussion on this and not start screaming at each other or talking over each other or
that's Friday
not answering
night.
Each other's questions, Yeah.
That's Friday night.
That's Friday night? Okay. So Kingpin, the question is, should a person just act locally? Are they better off acting locally? Should they not act at all? Should they just research the politicians that are going to best support their needs and vote for them on the state and national levels? What would be your recommendation, Kingpin, if we want to do anything to be advocates for the Second Amendment? Just buy your gun, shoot, and live your life, or what do you think? I don't disagree.
Definitely fire guns, live your life, and do all that stuff. But I think support your local organizations, just like federal government. The federal government, and we always talk about the Supreme. They should be absolutely irrelevant, according to the way our country was set up.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're all that really matters, apparently. So if you get your local organization, you can call Phil. You can call John or Sandhills and say, "Hey, Sandhills," and talk to somebody directly. And if your local organization gets too large, you can break it into smaller sections to keep it manageable. Because the bigger it is, the more unmanageable it's going to be.
Yeah.
But my big thing with these national organizations and all that is stop acting like women. Be men. You don't need, if you're looking for a hero, be the hero you want. We've got Every Second Matters. If we need a flag to fly under, we've got an Every Second Matters flag right there, which doesn't cost you anything. You don't got to sign up for anything. You don't got to do nothing except for be positive about the 2A. And we come here right here. G-Webs is going to do a chat tomorrow like he does every Second Matters. Gary, you, Squib, all of us. We are Every Second Matters. We are the organization that we need. Yeah. We are the advocates that we need. We don't need the NRA. If we, it's Swivel will probably agree with me because he's mentioned it before. You can't be the person that's going to stand and talk about we need to fight against these government rights and then not show up at DC when the rally is because your boss won't let you off work, or you got a fishing trip planned, or it's the weekend and I haven't had a weekend off. And when you run and scream about all this stuff that we need, and then when somebody puts something together, you don't show up. You know, Squid talks about it all the time. You want me to reach out and shake my hand and call you a 2A advocate? I better see you at a rally. I better see you doing some of the stuff that we're doing. And we can be our own heroes. We don't need these other organizations. We should do it ourselves.
I think just us putting ourselves out there and being in social media and hosting platforms on Facebook and Gunstreamer and, you know, whatever. I think having that presence there definitely does a lot of good, especially locally. You know, if we can help somebody find the information that they need, or give somebody just, you know, it's as simple as just a click and enjoy it, you know, watch. I think that's definitely, like you said, I think that's definitely going to do a lot more than necessarily supporting a national organization. But I guess part of it though is then who's going to support us on the national level? Who's going to lobby against the anti-gun bills? You know, when they get presented, because we hear about the GOA saying that they testify against bills, you know, when they get presented up in Congress and the Senate, they say that they're there doing that. I know the NRA claims that too, but then they do stuff, you know, behind doors that promotes themselves and, you know, doesn't necessarily help the rights of the people. So
the number one way, because my thought, everybody knows who Trey Gowdy is, the guy from Congress. And, you know, he's internet famous with the thug life and the gotchas. He's never actually accomplished anything in his entire political career. Nothing. But he's great to watch on the internet. And the GOA is great to put a camera in front of somebody's face and go tell Chuck Schumer, you won't take my guns, and then go home. And then Chuck Schumer passed laws that takes our guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the super duper pressure is primaries. When I elect Travis to fix the pothole out in front of my driveway, because that's what he campaigned on for 2.5 months, nonstop. I'm gonna fix that pothole right there. And then a year into your time in office, that pothole's still not fixed. You're gone, dude. You're gone. I don't care if the Democrat's going to win the office after. I don't care. You have to understand that you lied, and you're going to be punished for that.
That whole idea of being a public servant, it just kind of seems to have disappeared, because all we ever hear about is how these representatives are just building up their family legacy, you know, their family financial insurance.
Voting is more than just checking a box every couple months or years or whatever voting happens. Voting is holding the people accountable, and that's what we've never done. We've never done. You know, you reelect John Smith because he said he's got an R beside his name, or he's not that guy. Well, no, don't. Remember what's his face? I know it's silly to say, so just understand I'm kind of making a joke here. But Richard Pryor, none of the above. Vote none of the above. Now, obviously, we can't do that because tons of evil people will control. So we've got to vote strategically, but you have to hold these people that you vote for accountable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
I would say never mind.
See, go ahead.
The
way that I look at it, hi Dave. I look at it pretty much basically the same way you do, Dave. I do support the organizations, but when it comes time for them to turn around and ask me for money, I'm looking at okay, what have you done in public, which the NRA doesn't like to do. They might say they elected for something, but then you turn around and you hear nothing from them. I'll do the same thing with GOA. I'm a member of GOA, CRPA, VCDL. You know, I've got those organizations that I'm a member to. I'm a life member of the NRA. But if they're not going to step forward, belly up to the bar, and start really doing something that benefits us as a 2A community, then they're not going to get as much support from me as they think they're going to. Legislators, the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, I'll look at their history. If they don't do anything for Second Amendment, they're not going to get my vote. And it's the same way with these people that come in and, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do something else. Okay, what have you done for the Second Amendment community in the past?
Mm-hmm.
If there's pretty much
what's
a
your track
negative
record?
answer to that, then no. We have got to find people that has a history of supporting the Second Amendment and the Constitution. That's tough to do these days because there's so blasted many criminals out there. They'll say one thing, a two-faced. White man speak with forked tongue, as my people call it. They'll say one thing, and then after they get the seat, they do completely something different, or they don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I hear it all the time from these major organizations. Oh, we've done this, we've done that, we've done something else. Now, I can say GOA does send out notifications about what's coming up, and I sign the petitions. I don't send them money, but I will sign the petitions to get my name in the roster. So I'm supporting the Second Amendment community, but not financially anywhere near as much as I used to. And if they come up, if they're a rhino Republican, then, and you know, and they say they're going to do this, that, and the other thing, look at the history. Have you supported this stuff in the past? No. Well, okay. Why? You know, and I go right after them. My two senators in the state of Maine, they hate to hear me call on the phone.
Don't expect a direct answer. Nobody answers questions anymore. You don't have to answer questions anymore. They'll talk around it. Well, if you look at what we wanted, you know, they won't answer questions ever. That's all I want.
I received your message, or you know, I do this, I do that, and I do something else. Then you turn around and go look at their history, how they voted. It's a bold-faced lie. You know,
and even if they would answer with an answer I don't want to hear, I would still respect them more. Well, they say, okay, so in the past I haven't voted the way people want, but I'm changing my position, or I'm seeing some truth behind the, I would just appreciate a direct answer. Is that too much? And nobody answers questions anymore, ever. Just answer my question. I'm not gonna hate you if you don't answer with an answer I want to hear. I'm just frustrated as a voting citizen. I'm frustrated as a human being that nobody can answer a question directly when you want an answer. Like government, you don't ever hear, or like any of these candidates that go for these positions, they will not answer the freaking question.
That's right.
Even and they know they're going down anyway, so you might as well just go ahead and answer it, right?
Yeah, it makes you think, well, why am I voting for you if you're going to do that? If you're going to throw me into a corner like an old left shoe and not respond to my question with a direct answer, not something that beats around the bush or generalized or whatever the case may be. No, you don't answer that way.
Yeah.
You answer the question directly. That way the person that's voting for you knows where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
and you're right. I think we need to when we get a chance, I think we definitely need to go right at them and ask them directly, hey, what are your plans for, ensuring my firearms rights this year? What are you going to do? Defense Dad makes a pretty good point, and I don't think we see a lot of this anymore. He goes, you're not going to get results unless you find candidates willing to govern as if they only have one term to get things done.
And another thing too, we've got Democrats that are pro 2A. We've got Republicans that are pro 2A. We've got Republicans and Democrats that are wishy-washy back and forth. And we've got the same, again, totally negative to the Second Amendment. So you've got to look, like I said, you've got to look at their history, how they voted in the past. Okay, is this person worthy of my vote? Is he going to support our Second Amendment community, our freedoms, not violate the Constitution as so many have done and gotten away with it, and keep them in office? And the other ones, especially when it comes down to breaking constitutional law. This is going to sound pretty damn straight and tough. You break the constitutional law of this country, you are not only removed from office, you are stripped of your benefits, and you're going to pay a fine. You're going to pay some time. It's written right in the bylaws in history when this country was created. You had strict bylaws in that agreement that governed that point. We have not seen any of that stuff come to pass here lately. Break constitutional law, that's it. You're done. Pack your stuff and get out. And that you lose all rights to any further involvement with government procedures. That's it. You're barred. You're done. And
was it ever that way? Has it ever been that way before? I guess that's the question. Have we ever held people accountable like that? You know,
no,
I mean,
we haven't
I think we
up,
do.
We
but
have not.
Whenever somebody wants somebody taken out, it seems like they are. But yep.
You know, getting back to the whole, we're the ones that are going to do this stuff. You know, we can use platforms like YouTube, social media in order to get the message out or promote things, or let people know they're not alone and things like that. But in the same sense, there are people in the community that do care about freedom. They do care about the Second Amendment. They do want to promote it, but they're also really the same thing as the politicians and the gun rights organizations. This is about money first and the Second Amendment second. And some of them aren't wealthy, and that's how they hide it. You're such saps that you believe that somebody who lives in the poverty line or claims to live in the poverty line is the pro 2A guy for you, better than the GOA or your state or whatever, because see, they're not rich, they're not making, but they are. They're not working. They're not really working. They're taking your money. They would be poor if they weren't doing the pro 2A thing, because they're just not ambitious anymore. They're lazy and they would live poor anyhow. Now they're living poor, but they're not working. It's the same thing as getting a welfare check or something else like that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people out there that have their Instagram and their YouTube and their Facebook, and they sell their stuff, or they have their sponsors, or they do whatever, and they mean well. They're able to balance the two. They're able to say what they mean, believe what they say, and they're still able to be a capitalist. And I think that's great, because there are people to set the example for everybody else who's trying to use social media to supplement their income and promote what they believe in. And then you've got the other people that, I'm telling you, it's a dog and pony show. They're it's like, I'm going to act this way, I'm going to talk this way, I'm going to look this way, I'm going to show up to this event, and they're really no better than the people that they complain about, or the people that they vilify, or whatever. So be careful who you trust out there. Be careful who you stand behind and support, because this same person will sell their mother for $5.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Steal the gold fillings out of her teeth,
Oh. Mr. Cypher Monkey has an interesting comment. I think it really holds a lot of weight. I think some people go into politics or big organizations with good intentions. Once in, they get seduced by the dark side, or see how things really work, and they can't do what they want. Like, the system is so corrupt, or it's so based around money.
Yeah.
That it just the gears get clogged up, and then no movement happens, or if it does, it's very slow.
One of the things.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Who's responsible?
Well, I was just going to say that saying all this might discourage somebody from wanting to get involved or stay involved, and that's not the message. The message is don't be dumb about it. Use some common sense. Slow down a little bit. Think. If you're burned out, take a break, but don't take a break too long, because then you won't come back to it. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, but don't think that some of these things out here are meant to say, well, get out, don't do any, why bother doing it? No, that's not. It's just use your brain, because that's going to be the most important thing that's going to get you through, or get you involved, or keep you involved, or help you to make decisions.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before, and I know some of you guys have probably heard me say this before. We are responsible. We created this mess. It's up to us to make the right decisions and put people in office that should be there. I'm not going to sit on my backside and pass this mess to my children if I had any, which I've got 2 godchildren. But I'm still not going to pass this mess down to them to create, because right now, with everything that's going on, we are slaves to the system. They say slavery's dead. Well, the old slavery is, but they've got a new one, and it's called taxation. So we're all paying the fiddler for that one. It's because of the people that we have voted into office without doing the necessary background checks.
No, I agree. I understand where you're going with that, but it's not the people we put in office. It's the person that had the little pen in their hand making the check mark on the box. It's you, me, and it's
why
us.
I said
Look,
we are responsible.
One of the things that frustrates me is it's really easy to have these conversations about the giant NRA and the giant federal government, because it's way over there, and there's really, trying to take salt out of the ocean. It's not really going to work. But if we hold each other accountable, now we all call each other friends, and words mean things to me. Words actually have meanings. So when I call Squib my friend, that means I love him dearly. And if he's got to come over and tell me I'm acting like a jerk, then I expect him to. I don't expect to walk around with dirt on my face and then Squib just not wanting to say anything because he don't want to hurt my feelings. I expect strangers to do that. That's why I don't care what Joe Biden does. I care what Travis P11 does.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is my enemy, and he's going to do what enemies do.
Yep.
The antis are our enemies, whether it's anti this, that, or whatever. They're supposed to. They're supposed to come after us. They're supposed to hate us. They're supposed to attack us. The problem is when the guy standing next to you starts acting foolish. That's who you got to keep an eye on, is what we're doing. When we start acting foolish, we got to call each other out on it. We got to help each other, straighten each other out. And maybe even if it gets to an extreme, get rid of some of us. Even if that's me, if I start saying a bunch of stuff that you guys aren't going to accept, kick me out of this thing. They don't have to have me around to make me feel good. If I'm dangerous or disruptive to the community, which I don't like to use the term community because the community is what's out here in my neighborhood.
Roll call calls it a culture. I think that's more accurate.
Well,
yeah,
I guess so. But the thing is, that's what we need. Look at it like sports ball, and I know Midnight's out there, so I had to say sports ball for him. If you're on the Cowboys and you're playing the Patriots, you expect the guys on the Patriots to take the ball from you. You expect them to hit you hard. You expect them to push you and do all these things. When the guy standing next to you when you're wearing the same jersey starts doing things beneficial to the other team, that's who you get mad at. You don't get mad at Tom Brady for throwing the touchdown. You get mad at Aaron Rodgers for throwing the interception. A bad interception.
Yeah. Jason Stewart's got a pretty good comment out there. He goes, politicians are like middleman subcontractors. They say they are so great, but they get someone else to do all the work and they take all the blame. And those people take all the blame.
You can't save the world if you're home. Look, imagine Superman with a wife that hated him, kids that were constantly in some type of trouble, yard that needed to be mowed, work around the house. The dishwasher's broken, the washing machine is broken, but he's going to put on a suit and go save the world while his house is in disarray. It will never, ever work. No man can leave his house in disarray and do positive for the community and it have any kind of deep lasting results. It may be fleeting, but sooner or later they will fizzle out. You have to have your home correct.
Definitely a question of integrity. Yeah. What do you do behind closed doors? Is that who you really are, or is that just who you are out in the public? M. Gabriel's got a pretty good comment. This one goes back a little ways. He goes, the problem is that the federal branches of government work together to expand federal power beyond constitutional boundaries. Yeah, I think so. Whether it's expanding the IRS or expanding the ATF or, just some of the stuff that's going on right now is definitely pretty scary. God, I don't know. What do we have here? Midnight Range has got a comment for Kingpin. He says, I think Kingpin is a closeted sports ball lover. He's definitely a closeted something, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I like him in that it's sports ball. So that was his comment to you.
We got to timestamp that because I think that may be the first time in history he actually said he likes me.
Oh, okay. All right. Did he say that? Yeah, he goes, because I like him in that it's sports ball. So there you go. Yeah, 9:10 a.m. He actually said it's official. It's been officially recorded in history.
Once it's out there on the internet, it's out there.
That's right. That's right. You can't take it back. You can't take it once you click chat, once you click post, you can't take it back because somebody out there will find it if they want to.
New York Outcast found that picture on Facebook of me that I thought was gone. Yeah.
I don't even want to know. Oh man. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But I think we can all be happy that we didn't have YouTube around when we were in high school. That's all I know. So Tacos and French Fries says, this may be selfish, but I focus on me and what I can contribute. I try to focus on local concerns, which in the end rolls up. Yeah, so I think that's it right there. Acting locally, I think, is the best first step, if anything. Because the question is, what do you do? Be active or become active on your local boards or, hey, anything. Like I've been saying this before, I hear so much, anti-school rhetoric and in all the podcasts, and I'm numb to it. That's fine. I get it. People have a right to express their disappointment with public schools because they're taxpayers, but they're not on the school board, or they don't go to, school board meetings, or they don't publicly criticize schools because school districts don't like negative comments. They don't like negative publicity. So, but they'd rather sit around and blast and berate instead of trying to be part of the solution. Sometimes you have to try to be part of the solution because nothing's going to change unless you step up, And I think it's the same thing for the 2A community also. I think you need to be vocal. You definitely need to be active and create a stir because people don't like the negative publicity. That's just a fact. So now, Midnight Range, what's that? Go ahead.
Squibb is an excellent representative. I know for a fact that he's traveled to multiple different states to go to rallies and different 2A events.
Yeah. And
he's also said that he doesn't give a crap about what happens over there because he ain't got no vote over there. But he still goes.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't go to Pennsylvania to try to convince the governor of Pennsylvania to do something. He goes to Pennsylvania to show his friends in Pennsylvania that he's there to support them.
Yeah.
He can show up and look Midnight in the face, as sad and scary as that is, and let him know, I'm here standing right beside you with you for your cause. And the governor doesn't even know who Squibb is.
Squibb, wasn't there a video that you did when we had some 2A rallies a couple of years ago where you went and you were the only person there at the courthouse? Was that you, Squibb, that did that video like 2 or 3 years ago? He might be have to get another cup of coffee, but I remember seeing one where he showed up and there was nobody there. He was the only person there for the rally that day because it was a crappy day and it was cold out. So Firefighter 09100, you wanted to join in. What's going on, man? How you doing?
On my second cup of Earl Grey tea for the morning.
Oh, okay. We're going to, because it's a highly caffeinated tea, we're going to let that slide. But yeah, you want to be part of the chat. What are your thoughts? What's your 2A resolution for 2022? What are you going to do to act locally or act nationally? What are your plans?
Be the firearm guy at work more, because I work at a factory and people already have figured that out, even though I don't broadcast it.
Once a cat's out of the bag, once you mention that you've gone to the range or, you talk about hunting, then suddenly you're the gun guy, which can have some negative side effects to it, especially if you're in an anti-firearm environment, unfortunately. But
most of the people I work with at the factory are like pro-Trump, pro-gun, pro-America.
Yeah.
But I hope Fire Kitten doesn't hear the phrase. The cat was out of the bag when newly 21-year-old coworker's like, "Hey, I bought my first pistol. Is this a good thing?" And it shows me a picture of a old West German Walther PPK in 32 ACP. And I'm like,
well, I mean, if you want to learn how to clear fails or clear FTEs, that's a great gun to learn on.
Apparently, it runs flawless for him.
Okay. Maybe they're higher quality than the 380s and the 9s, but yeah. Oh wow. Well, hey, it's better than nothing. We shouldn't criticize. See, that's just it right there. We shouldn't criticize. If your neighbor buys a high point and that's all they have for a handgun, and they're like one of my best friends is, no, that's not a bad choice actually. No, I'm just saying that it's. We got to support anybody any way we can. If they're going to be a firearm owner and they want to be part of the solution and want to be pro 2A, then that's awesome, man. We're all for it. So, Oh man, crazy stuff. Seeing for missing any comments. Tony York says that Ozzy was out there, but we never saw him. Ozzy Osbourne was out there. Usually he's joining in today's episode. So firefighter, what else? Do you belong to any local organizations in your state, or what state are you in, firefighter, if you don't mind telling us?
I'm in Ohio. So basically I don't belong to any organizations other than 2As for everybody. I mean, like Kingpin was saying, that's our best way of getting it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because every local one I've done, it's either like, oh yeah, sign up and we'll give you all this free stuff. But I never hear what they're doing on the state level.
And you said you guys, Ohio's up for constitutional carry also? There's going to be some debate on it in your state this year?
No, it's past committee. It's in the General Assembly now. But the problem is our governor. DeWine was pro-gun when he took office. After a couple of mass shootings, he's kind of become, oh, well, we need more gun control. So he might not sign it.
Yeah.
Goes along
well,
with
it'd be
the
nice if it happens.
wishy-washy legislators that I mentioned here earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, firefighter. I'm a ex-firefighter. I was in the fire department up in Maine there, one of them for about 8 years, first responder firefighter one.
When I graduated high school, I was an EMT basic, firefighter level 2. But it made it tough locally because when I graduated high school, nobody was hiring.
Yeah. My department went back and forth. It was volunteer, and then it went municipal, and then it went back to volunteer. So.
Oh, even the volunteer departments weren't hiring.
Wow.
Man, if you volunteer, you think they'd take anybody they could get. They don't really care. They want as many people as possible. But single shot, I was going to ask you. So out in Maine, what is the gun culture like? Is there a strong pro Second Amendment community? Are you acting locally? What is it like there in Maine? Is Maine a bit of an outlier compared to more restricted states, or Yeah,
north above Augusta is pro 2A, definitely. We're all hunters. We're all shooters. We enjoy our right to carry. We're constitutional carry. My legislators up in that area are all pro 2A. You get south of Augusta, then it flips a coin on you. You got Democrats and negative towards the 2A communities. But, it's like I mentioned, you got to vote those people out, get rid of them, and look at the people's background that you're considering to vote for.
Yeah.
But we're very friendly 2A up there, north of Augusta, Maine. Very much so.
Yeah, and Kingpin's got a pretty good point that we need to do the research. We need to, you'd mentioned this earlier, that we need to definitely know who we're voting for when we click those boxes. And really, it doesn't take much more than just looking up that person's name on Google, checking out their website, looking and seeing what they stand for, what their platform is. Are they pro Second Amendment or are they not? Because to me, again, I'm very much a one issue voter. Hate to say it, but it's true. Because if we don't have the Second Amendment, we don't have the First, and then everything falls apart. Just look at the rest of the world. It's that simple. You can say, well, that's kind of narrow-minded. No, it's all that matters. It really is, because when you disarm the populace, you get the control of the people. So it's that simple. So,
what matters to me is my freedoms. That's important to me.
Second Amendment, voting Second Amendment and voting freedom are as vastly different as you could possibly get.
Oh, yeah.
This is where I talk about holding us accountable. And I've asked this question to us before and got answers from us that I'm really, really unsatisfied with. So Bill de Blasio came out today and said, I'm still the same Bill de Blasio. Mandates everything, taxes everything, racism everything, but I'll never pass another 2A law. If you foolish people go out and vote for him, shame on you.
Yeah. You're not.
I've heard it's not single shot.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of us that will be willing to do that. just because Joe Biden, if Joe Biden came out tomorrow and said, I'm super pro 2A, but we're going to do a year-long lockdown, a bunch of people would be like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Just, that's just being a fair weather fan. You're just playing to the crowd, And I hate to say it, but I mean, this is going to anger a lot of viewers right now, but didn't Trump do the same thing? I mean, wasn't Trump a career Democrat and then he flipped because he saw an audience that he could reach out to? Or do you think he genuinely had a life belief change on what his platform was going to be?
Yeah, but
I don't know. Did he just simply sell? Did he go after that angry pro 2A freedom loving crowd because nobody had been representing them for the longest time, that he marketed himself to a particular audience, or did he genuinely care?
Trump cared about Trump. But in the same light, what Kingpin was saying, that the scenario where, if somebody changed and said, man, I'm pro 2A, but I'm still going to do all this other stuff, or I'm going to do all this other stuff worse, all these people would bandwagon and say, we got to back him because he's 2A or nothing. It's the same thing that right now. We have people in the culture that are like, I'm pro 2A. Oh, but this guy is pro-abortion, so I can't support him. You got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
You got to pick your poison.
Yeah. When it's going to make a lot of people mad, but that's just how it has to be. I'm sorry. That's the truth.
When my older son voted for the first time in the last election, I asked him, I go, what is the main thing? And he goes, taxes. Honestly, I'm voting for whoever is not going to raise my taxes. And I was proud of him for thinking for himself. And he's pro 2A. He loves the right to keep and bear arms. He doesn't appreciate it as much as me because he hasn't been in it as long as me. And I don't even know that that'll ever become his primary thing. And I'm not always sure that it's my primary thing. And my primary thing might be taxes too. But everybody's got to pick their poison. And you're not going to get that candidate that does everything you want. I mean, the GOA did that video recently. Senator from Iowa and Alaska, two very pro 2A states, decided to jump on board with anti-gun legislation. It happens. So you got to pick your poison. They'll vote today for something and get the attention for it. But then in 6 months, they'll vote for something else. And, what are you going to do?
Get on the phone and say, hey, what do you think you're doing? This is what you said when you voted into
that
office.
Doesn't
now
work.
You're turning your backs on us. Person's honesty is what's important to me. I'm going to vote one way and then turn around and stab me in the back.
It's starting to snow a little bit now.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see what 2022 brings us. And again, we can step up. I think we can all step up and at a minimum, just do some research, just maybe become more active locally, make a few phone calls, send some emails. Right. I mean, we waste so much time doing just pointless activities anyway, that if we put just a little bit of effort into something that affects us more, I think it's definitely going to make a big difference. And that's something we should all think about doing,
That's
is it a big deal to email your local representative on, if I emailed the representative for Nebraska that wants to push for the constitutional carry bill and say, hey, I think it's wonderful you're doing this. I think it's great that you're going to push for it, even though you're going to get backlash. And I think constitutional carry is something we need. We've already got 85,000 Nebraskans that have their concealed carry permits, 85,000 responsible gun owners. Even though we're a small state, we're only a state of like 2 million. That shows that people can carry firearms carefully and still protect themselves. Why can't the whole state have that option without having to pay the high dollar buy-in that it takes to get your concealed carry permit for Nebraska? Just email that person. I think that's something I definitely want to do more. Part of my problem is that, again, I've been wrapped up in my own life. I've been so busy for the last 12 months. I need to just stop and really focus on the things that matter more, the big picture, instead of the little things that pop up and the little distractions in life. And I think that's something that we can all do. So
especially the gun channels people that I like to hang out with. You guys do that. Like Travis, you're giving yourself a hard time, man. You can still do all your personal stuff and then just drop your 2A as you go. Just sprinkle a little 2A as you go, man. So don't beat yourself up, man. You do a fantastic job.
Well, I could have stopped and probably wrote my politicians more, because we had some heavy bills that came down the pipe that I probably, and there's rallies I could have gone to, and I didn't.
All the congressmen that you didn't write, when somebody walked up to you at a gas station and saw the Mossberg sticker on your car, and you had a conversation, you told them about your podcast, and you told them about your friends' videos.
Oh yeah.
That's you don't have to. What is that old Pat talked about it the other day? The keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You don't have to make this big, super giant 3-piece suit political thing all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is when you have an opportunity, sprinkle.
Oh, even if it's around my colleagues or if it's around my family, I'll stick to my viewpoint on being pro 2A.
What I like is I've been saying it for a while, and I heard G-Web's talking about it the other day. And obviously, we got to be careful because you don't want to poison everything with politics. But gun shows and SHOT Show and all this kind of stuff, I've always like, well, how come we aren't promoting 2A there? Well, it's for the industry. It's for the guns. It's a way to get away from that. No more. SHOT Show this year should be politics 24/7.
Nah, I disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what my thinking on that. And I understand why you might disagree, but and you can let me know. My thinking on that is if all the industry heavyweights are there, aren't those the heroes that everybody shouldn't Ruger be holding rallies, 2A rallies? Shouldn't Smith and Wesson and Glock be holding 2A rallies?
Yes, they should.
They don't. That's not what they're not in business for that. I'm not saying that they should, but they're never going to. All they care about is money. If you're afraid and you're buying guns because you're afraid, they're happy. If that this is why they do shows, is to say, look at us, look at our new product, look at this, and half the products don't even end up out there, right? But they're just, it's a big money making thing. It's not about selling you out or anything else. I mean, I'd be more concerned about them selling us out than really supporting us. They're a business. They're there to make money. If America, no matter what your politics are afraid, and you're buying it as fast as it lands on the shelf, they're making money. They're happy, right? It'd be the same thing if it was a different industry, right? These industries that are making food or making fuel or all these other things that have gone up in price, and people are just buying stuff like crazy, like the world's going to end. They're making money hand over fist. That's all they care about. I think sometimes it's kind of like the separation of church and state. Sometimes these sorts of things, it might not be a good idea for some of these big companies to, I don't know. I just see some problems with that. And I got to tell you, I've gone to rallies where there've been tents where people are selling stuff, and it's great that you can buy it. Well, I didn't know this company existed, or I'm glad they're pushing their product or whatever, but they do believe in the Second Amendment, but really they're there to make money. So, in the same sense, don't have a rally and have companies there selling their junk, have them there handing out free stuff and saying vote 2A or something. I don't know. But no, there's a time and a place, and I think certain things leave politics out. And you got to look at it too. There are YouTubers out there, very pro 2A, very pro freedom, very this, very that, and they don't ever mention any of that in their videos or on their live streams. It's not because they don't support the Second Amendment or don't believe in it. That's just not the business model of their channel, and that's their choice. Sure, it'd be nice if some of these YouTubers with 1 million subscribers that do gun videos would, every 5th video do a politics video, but they'll be taking down off of YouTube pretty fast if they do that. Yeah. Or they potentially could. Now, this is where you get into that balance. Are you here for the money, or are you here for your rights? The thing is, that person can jump on somebody else's live show where they do talk politics and talk and not endanger their channel. They can start up a B channel and not endanger their channel. They can go to these events. When Hickok went to Columbus, people went to Columbus just to see Hickok, right? People can say whatever they want to say about that guy. But, when he went there, and there were other people who go, who is this guy? And I'm going, seriously? Have you ever heard of YouTube, right? But still, there were people there. That's good. So there are ways in which you can not talk politics, not do this, not do that, and promote people starting to learn the terminology, the laws, the history, starting to learn that we're not all a bunch of criminals just because we own the same tool that a criminal uses. We use it in a good way. They use it in a bad way. It's a tool. It's not the inanimate object you should blame. It's the person, that sort of thing. There are ways that certain channels or certain organizations can promote this stuff. And I'm not saying that if you own a gun, you're automatically pro 2A. I get so sick of hearing people say that crap.
It's
true. It doesn't equal, but
it should, but it doesn't.
If SHOT Show goes political, SHOT Show goes away. Okay. It just does. If you want a political SHOT Show, go to NRAM. Seriously. Oh, but I can't do that. I hate the NRA because they're so evil. Yeah, right, whatever. Okay, seriously, if you want SHOT Show with politics, go to NRAM. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Well, I understand your point there, Squib. What do you think about the angle of, and I, believe me, I understand. That's why I started with, you have to be careful, because if you look at the left, they saturated their entire lives with politics, and it's destroyed them. I mean, any of us can look at what we call the left and see that they're horrible, miserable, evil people. I mean, it's pretty simple, because they've saturated everything in their entire cereal is politics. So I know we can't do that, but what about when you approach Ruger and say, hey, we're going to hold a two-way rally. Would you like to come do a speech? And they're like, no, we don't want to get involved with politics. What about using your consumer power to say, okay, well, I'm going to tell all my friends to stop buying Ruger?
Yeah, and I don't see a problem with that, because if you look at it, we have an example of that. Look what Benchmade did. Now, you can say whatever. They were going to get destroyed anyhow. It was a judge's order. They saved the taxpayers' money. How is this a bad thing? Well, their PR guy and maybe even their corporate management, who either didn't check on the PR guy or green-lighted the PR guy, thought it would be a great PR stunt to say, hey, we're going to destroy these guns. Despite the fact that they were going to get destroyed no matter what, despite the fact that the taxpayers could have paid for it or it could have been done for free. They thought it was a great story. And how many people are never going to buy a Benchmade knife again for the rest of their life, or, for the foreseeable future? You got the other people go, nope, I love them and I'm still going to, that's fine. That's like me with the NRA, right? People give me pushback over that. And that's your choice as a consumer. But yes, vote with your wallet. There are people that still remember when Bill Ruger was speaking in front of Congress saying, why do you need more than 10 rounds in a magazine? The man's long dead. And as a Marine, I'm kind of disappointed in him. But the thing is, there's some people that still to this day will not buy a Ruger product because of what he did. And I get it. And I support that, because that is the American way. That is capitalism. And just because I don't agree with you, just because you go, screw it, I'm going to keep buying my Benchmade. All right, do it. It's, still free for now, right? And I'm not. And I can still stand right next to you and all that. We don't agree on this, but we don't have to. But I do believe that, yes, if you want to vote with your wallet because Rock River Arms sold us out, or Springfield Armory sold us out, or Benchmade sold us out, or even you don't want to renew your membership to the NRA or the GOA because they sold us out or whatever. Yeah, I think that's capitalism. That's the system that we have in place. That in my opinion it works, but other people say nope, doesn't work.
Now, before I unsubbed, I used to watch a lot of Hank Strange videos, and he was at SHOT Show a couple of years ago. And when he had the range day, when they were shooting all the guns, he would talk about the firearm with the rep from that company. And he ended each one of those interviews. He would say, so is 6 Hour pro Second Amendment, do you guys support the Constitution? And it was amazing how many people would not give a resounding yes for the answer. Colt didn't say yes. Sig didn't say yes. Ruger didn't say yes. Like, well, I'm just a representative, so I can't speak on behalf of the company. It's like, wow, you should have an overwhelming support of the Constitution. But like you said, Squibbit, they're in the business to make money. Whether we have guns or not, they're still going to sell to law enforcement, to military contracts, foreign contracts. So they don't, they're just a middleman. They're just a supplier to the tools that we want.
Yeah, but they have to have the general public.
What's that?
They know there'd be one firearm company every couple of years if they only relied on police and military.
I don't know. You look at the contracts like FN or Colt has supplying rifles to the Marines and the Army and stuff.
Right, but what happens when the contract runs out and the Marines go Sky instead? Does Colt go out of business?
Yeah. No, and sometimes they do.
Well, that's what I mean. The 320 million potential customers compared to the one potential customer, and I get it. There's nobody can spend more money than Joe Biden. He's got the biggest wallet in the history of the world, so I get that. But there's only room for a few companies. So Sky has to sell guns to us because the government's not going to buy them.
And that's why I was disappointed that it wasn't a resounding yes, we support the Second Amendment and an American's right to own a firearm. I mean, you say that to a person, you've got a customer for life. I was really disappointed that the company view was that they couldn't make a statement publicly about it, And so, I mean, maybe if you interviewed the CEOs or you interviewed, the founders of the company on the side, they might say yes. A few companies did say yes. They said that we've always been for that and that's what we do. But then there's companies that are very much public, like PSA. They very much say, hey, we are here to supply inexpensive firearms to the American public because we believe in an armed populace. You know, they're not afraid to just come out and say that. There's other companies that are like that too, but it just kind of makes you wonder, you know, do they really care? You know, do they even have to care? But you're right, Kingpin. I didn't think about it in that kind of an aspect. What happens if the public stops buying their $900 FN or their, you know, their $700 or $800 Ruger? You know, what's going to happen to those companies? So
and let that happen. Let it happen organically. Let it happen naturally. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, doesn't. If they say, look, they're buying our crap no matter what, then they're, you know, then we're like Kingpin say, you know, it's we do this, not somebody else. We do this, that sort of thing. But I think there are ways that a company can be out there and say we're pro 2A and we don't care. Shut us down, YouTube. Make laws, local government, you know, blast us on TV, mainstream media, whatever it is. We're pro 2A, but we've also seen the backlash, right? I mean, look what happened. Look what happened with the whole Sandy Hook, you know, get your man card advertisement thing, right? And that didn't go over so well. And there's other things. So you've got some of these companies, they've got control of their company and they're going, we're going to do this and we don't care. Come hell or high water. And you got other ones that are big or they're owned by the, you know, management companies and they got lawyers and they're going, look, this didn't work out for them. We can't
risk the PR nightmare, right? You know,
And then, you know, when that company that does make that inexpensive firearm that you like or that accessory you like or whatever goes out of business because they got sued or legislated out of business, and you're there going, oh, maybe they should have kept their mouths shut. So it doesn't really matter either way. But I do think that you can have SHOT Show, which is an industry show, and then you can have something like NRAM or another show where these companies do go to the show and they can talk to or do this or do that or promote this or make sure that the show is free. It doesn't cost anything to attend because Ruger and Remington and Colt and whoever, you know, paid for the show or whatever it is, right? Yeah. So that you can have those sorts of things, you know. I mean, if you really wanted to think outside of the box, you're Joe Blow Gun Company X and you're in state X and they're having a rally and you validate everybody's parking at the Capitol. What did you do? You know, did you really go out there and risk anything by saying we're pro 2A, but you sent a message to everybody who showed up going, we appreciate you being here because we can't go up there and say anything because we'll get sued or legislated out of business, but we're going to help you out. Free parking for everybody. You know, I might do something like that if I owned a big gun company. You know, I'm just saying, you know, there are ways to do it. You just have to.
There's companies like Magpul, which doesn't expressly say that they're pro Second Amendment anywhere on their website, but when there's threats of magazine restrictions, the first thing they do is airdrops of pallets full of PMags. They literally dump 1,000 of them in front of the courthouse and tell people, "Come get your free PMag." You know, and that get your 30-round mag before they disappear. You know,
and that doesn't require them having to make a plethora of YouTube videos or flood other parts of social media or go to Capitol Hill or turn an industry show into a politics show or something else like that. There are ways to do it. I think that's creative. And I'm glad you brought up that example. Yeah.
It's just, and you know what? They never made any videos about it themselves. It just got promoted on the news. It got promoted by other YouTubers, big channels picked it up and talked about it. I was like, hey, I think they did that in Colorado before they left Colorado. They left people, if they dropped off like so many thousand PMags for everybody, get them now because we're leaving. And they did. They left Colorado and went to Wyoming and Dallas, you know.
Yeah, and that's a strong statement too. I mean, everybody's saying, why don't these companies up in the Northeast move? And some of them have, and some of them haven't. But I think some of it's been more about tax breaks, really, than being pro 2A. But there's another way you can do it. And once again, are you really risking your company by moving? Are you really risking your company by going, screw this, we're getting the hell out of New York State. We've been here forever, and we have a history here. But you know what? They don't want us here. We're gone. Yeah. And then you give your money to Georgia or Tennessee or whoever.
When I find out those companies leave the coast and they go to those freedom-loving states, then it actually gets my attention as a buyer. It's like they were willing to get up and move to Tennessee or to Kentucky, and they have their reasons for doing it. Okay, it could be tax breaks or it could be low labor costs or whatnot. But the fact that they're willing to leave because their product is not available in their state to their own citizens, that does, as a buyer, that does get my attention. You know, it's like, oh, they did get out of there. That's a good thing. You know,
so there are ways to do it and be, I mean, this might not be the right word, but passive about it. You know, You're not being so in your face. You're not risking a lawsuit. You're not risking legislation. You're not risking anything, but you're still there. You're still there providing a good product for the consumer. You're letting the consumer know, hey, we got your back, even though it might not look like we're not running around waving the flag. We're not, and you got to be, once again, be careful about the ones running around waving the flag. Hey, look at us. We're pro 2A. We're pro 2A. We're pro 2A. And meanwhile, they're sending money to Congress people or other politicians who are voting to take away our rights, but they're doing it, under the table and nobody knows. They're saying we're pro 2A to get your business, but they're really not pro 2A. It's just like I was saying about giving your money to these gun rights organizations or giving your money to some of these YouTubers or other people that say they're, but really I think about money.
The big one was Black Rifle Coffee Company. Their founder claiming he lost a bet, but had contributed hundreds of dollars to anti 2A organizations, and that got made public. And then they're trying to. The thing is that they're at a point now where they don't even have to be. They're so in the supply chain now that they don't really have to go back to their original ideas, which is gun loving, freedom, and fun, and coffee, and they still support the military and they do those things. But they've kind of, with me as a buyer, they've lost my support. They've lost my edge. You gotta
look at it like your house. If you're standing on your front porch and a person walks by and looks at you, you'll wave even if you don't know them. Say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. But if you're sitting on your couch and that person opens their your front door, and sits down, that's a different story. Now they're in your house. Or you don't, when that person's walking by, you just don't wave them, come on in, because they're wearing a red hat and you like the color red. A lot of organizations, whether it be 2A, whether it be taxes, whether it be Christians, whether it be conservatives, and whatever it might be, somebody will come along and say something slightly conservative, and then a bunch of conservatives will be like, yeah, we got a new hero on our side. The gun channels, all the whole Corona thing, when the guns were selling off the shelf so fast, everybody was reeing and screaming about how we're going to have all these wonderful liberal gun organizations and all these Democrat gun organizations, and it's going to be amazing. And I haven't seen one, not one, none, zero. But Squid mentioned it. Somebody walks by and says the word gun, and then the 2A grabs him, and that's their new hero. Just because he said the word gun. Don't let everybody in your team. Not everybody that says the word God is Christian, so don't let them in your Christian group. Not everybody that says the word motorcycle needs to be in your motorcycle gang. That's how you start bringing anybody and everybody into your fold, and that's how you end up destroying what you've got going on.
It's true, man.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of instances. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but when California had to do with Ronnie Barrett, Ronnie Barrett says, okay, that if that's the way you guys feel, I think it was about the 50 caliber debacle. You don't want to do business with us with the 50 cals, we're not going to support you. Good luck trying to find the parts and everything else. Smith & Wesson did the same thing when they sold out to that company over in England. Wow, that really created a hornet's nest. I don't know how many law enforcement agencies turned around and turned their weapons in and their equipment and told SW to go take a hike. If they're still putting out a good product, then, I'll support them. But I'm going to chastise them for what they've done.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But, sometimes the business side kind of twists things up a little bit, unfortunately. Yeah.
Everybody has this misconception about capitalism. Capitalism is if you've got two different companies, they're producing the same product. One product from one company is bad, the other one is good. You're going to start doing business with the people that produced a good product. The other company's just going to go away. That's capitalism. So
it's true.
Support the people who support us, but then again, you've got to take the time to contact. Hey, on the horn. Hey, Ruger, why'd you do this X amount of days ago, X amount of years ago? If they come up with some crazy excuse, well, my attitude, I've always been a Ruger customer, always. But, I'm going to get on the phone and say, hey, same thing with Thompson Center. When they sold out to Smith & Wesson, I think I was the first person on the phone asking them why they done that and, what they're going to do. Hey, you're going to support the weapons that are out here already, the equipment that we've got invested in. I invested a lot of money in Thompson Center.
Yeah, you're a huge fan of that brand.
I can tell you.
Yeah,
but, I just told them, hey, Smith & Wesson. I got on the phone with Smith & Wesson. Ruger was first. I called them to see what was going on. I had quite the chat, debate.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way with Smith & Wesson. I got on the phone, did the same thing. And, what they've done in the recent past here, I've not been a fan of because they've dropped a couple of the lines and they don't support the products that are out there as much as they used to. You have to send a firearm back to them before they'll do anything. Whereas I just got a hold of the guys down there. I knew quite a few of them personally in Rochester. And, hey guys, I need an extractor for a 243 barrel, or, I've got a problem with this, that, and the other thing. And I did. When I first got my first contender, it was one of the old style frames, and I had a lot of problems with misfires. Well, I got a hold of the guy that was in the shop down there, and he says, well, when you get a chance, put all your barrels together, your frame, bring them down, drop them off, which I could with the truck because I had plenty of room to maneuver around. And I take my stuff in there and drop it off and let them get it squared away.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the misfires, I took that down there, and those guys not only changed out the hammer to the newer style with a flip lever on the top instead of the half screw that was on the face of the hammer. They changed it to the easy open, changed all the bolts, which is the piece that locks the barrel into the frame on the barrel. And I got a call from this individual about, 3 weeks later, and he said, swing by the store. We've got everything squared away for you.
Cool.
Travis, they didn't charge me one penny.
See, and there you go. And then you got a customer for life, man. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, there was a lot of parts involved and bench time and everything else. They could have charged me, like $250, $300 for that.
Yeah.
Nope. But you try to do that now with Smith & Wesson driving the boat. They're first thing they're going to tell, well, you got to send it down to us. We got to take a look at it. I had one barrel, a 44 Magnum barrel, 4-inch barrel, the old style octagonal. And I liked it, but I couldn't get the thing to shoot. I got a hold of the same individual.
That can be a problem.
Yeah, you couldn't group that thing with a shotgun. I mean, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
I looked at it, the barrel's washed out. It's hardly got any rifling in it at all. So I took it down there to him, and he called me on the phone. He says, whatever you wanted on that barrel, this is before I sent it down there, he's take everything off it that you want to keep for parts. So I strip it. I sent it down, and he called me about 2 weeks later, and he says, we're going to junk that barrel. He says, what barrel do you want? I told him what I wanted. The next week, it was at my house. No charge. Off the shelf, stock barrel, not a custom made now. But off the shelf stock, and sent it to me. And that's one of them I lost in the fire. That really irritated me. But,
I can imagine.
Stand behind the people.
After waiting and waiting, and then that happens to you.
Yeah. You stand behind the people that will still produce a good quality product. But if they screw up and they do something like Smith & Wesson did, TC did, et cetera, blah, 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 you get on the phone and say, hey, I'm a pretty staunch customer of yours. What's going on?
And hopefully get the response you're looking for.
To the fire, and they've got to explain it.
I hear you, man.
Well, here's a scenario for you, Travis. If you wanna, it might be a little long-winded, and I already know there's millions of holes in what I'm about to say, so it's kind of like a broad brush stroke deal. Say Glock, and just California, keep it as small as we can. Glock called California and said, "Look, we've worked with you guys for years. We've modified all of our guns. We put safeties here and took safeties off and did all this to get guns sold in your state. We're not doing it anymore. Either you change your laws or we won't come across the California border for anything. None of your cops, none of your military, none of your nothing." How could something like that feasibly work? I get it now. I understand Glock wants to make money, and the 30 million potential customers in California is a lot of money. But do you think Texas would buy more Glocks if they were like, "Yeah, look, they told California to take a walk"? They don't, you know.
I think so. I really do think so. I mean, and there's been companies that have left California because they can't make the guns that'll be accepted on their roster. They can't either financially put into the modifications they have to make, or they just don't think that it's worth the investment. So they pulled out of that state and they're not there anymore. Or they don't make a California compliant model because they're not going to drop the money on the few sales it's going to get. Now with Glock, I think at this point, California would probably say, okay, Glock, we'll find another supplier that will. And there might be another company that would step up because they want that market and they're willing to put in the R&D, But yeah, I mean, I do look at things like that myself when companies, like with Magpul, the fact that they left Colorado because their citizens can't own their product that the rest of the country can, or, the majority of the country can, the 30-round magazine. That definitely had an impact on me and said, look, they do care about what they make. They do. Freedom is important to them, so they've got a customer for life, unless they would change and whatever, go on a pro this or pro that, anti this, anti that platform. But I do hear what you're saying, and I think it would. I don't know. With certain states, I just don't think that they would care. They'd be like, well, that's fine. We'll find somebody else then, because they obviously care so little about freedom and rights anyway that they're willing to just take that, take that particular stance. So I don't know, man. I think it would resonate with a lot of other people if they did up and move, just like companies leaving the coast and moving to, another state, getting into a more pro freedom state versus, staying on one of the coasts and whatnot. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what I think. So DM Foss says it's $150,000 per model per year to be on the California roster.
Ouch.
And, yeah, there's a lot of companies and if that's per model, and if that means like the safety model and the non-safety model, that's $150,000 for each one, $300,000 per year. Then I think the companies just aren't going to fit the bill. They're not going to do it. They're not going to stay there. There won't be a California compliant model, which is probably why when it comes to California compliant models, it's only the big manufacturers that really supply those. But I mean, you could modify guns to be California compliant. It kind of depends on the gun. The handgun versus the rifle are two different things. You can make your AR-15 California compliant and go through the hoops, or just buy a California compliant model, but there might only be the bigger companies that actually make the compliant model. So that's why I think you see a lot of companies that are bailing out of those anti-2A states. So,
in the same sense that companies bail out of those states, people can bail out of those states. Some people do, some people don't. Some people put their money where their mouth is. Other people just have a bag of excuses. But the thing is, some states, I understand that people say, no, I'm going to stay and fight. Dude, your state is a lost cause. You will never win. Okay. You can move somewhere where your vote makes a bigger difference, but once again, your life, your choice. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just saying, quit bitching because you're part of the problem. Okay. People keep saying Texas is turning purple and all this other stuff because all these people from California are moving there. It's like, well, what about all the people? Okay, if they all move out, then maybe California will become a pro 2A state again because all these millions of Californians that say that they're pro 2A but apparently never show up to vote, or relocate to Texas and counter it or whatever. It's the same thing. A company can make a difference. A person can make a difference. If you don't like what you've got where you're at, get involved. Like what we were talking about in the beginning. And if you don't see change in a certain amount of time or you don't see the potential for change, maybe you need to think about what's more important to you. Now, it may not be the most important thing to you, which is fine. You don't have to be like hardcore, man, 2A is everything. And you may say, look, man, I like the weather here more, or I'm not leaving my family behind, or my job is
my house will be paid off in 1 year,
whatever it is. And I get that. I'd rather you say, I'm not leaving this state because I'm a mama's boy, or I'm not leaving this state because I can't get this $1 million job in state X or whatever it is. I'd rather say that than just start coming up with a list of, and there are people that are terrified. They're terrified to move because they've never left. They've never moved. They've been a tourist, but they've never moved. Yeah. As somebody who's moved around his whole life, I'm telling you, it's not really that hard to do. Yeah. I suppose it's good that I don't own a company because I might just relocate the company from time to time and my employees would be pissed at me. So, but
come with us or you don't. So, yeah.
If you're really that pro 2A and you want to put your money where your mouth is, then get out of your state that will never get any better. Quit telling everybody, I'm going to stay and fight the good fight. It's not working, dude. It hasn't been working. It wasn't working before you were born. Okay. And go somewhere where they need you or don't. And that's fine, Yeah. But I get sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
People have to start living with their lifestyle and their expectations. Be a man. Be a leader of your family. If you got to go, pick up the whole family and go. If they don't like it, well,
life ain't fair. Let this be your first lesson. Oh, so hey guys, I do have to wrap it up. I do apologize. We're going to go ahead and call it. I know we didn't get to have our discussion on the one caliber. That's the one caliber for everyone kind of discussion I wanted to have, but we'll save it for next Saturday. We'll be doing an early chat next Saturday. I do have some work obligations kicking in around 9 o'clock on next Saturday morning. So we'll be going super early next week. So panel, if you're there, that's great. If not, don't worry. We can hold down the fort if we need to. But I do want to thank everybody for being here today on the panel. It's been great having you here. Awesome having everybody out there on the YouTube side. We'll go ahead and give a little shout out to those people here in a moment. We'll go ahead and let everybody give their final plugs and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's a good discussion. I think it's something we can continue. I think it's definitely a good topic. What can you do to ensure the freedom doesn't go away? There's a lot we can do as we've discovered here today. It's been a great discussion. Squib, we'll go ahead and start off with you. Any final plugs you want to give us? You want to promote your channel? Anything you want to say?
Glad you're wrapping it up. I got stuff to do too. So
okay.
This isn't the regular weekly kind of chat that we have, and I think it kind of turned more politics into anything else. But I think we churned up a lot of things for people to think about, a lot of things for people to chew on and digest, and to make their own decisions. We all have to make our own decisions for our own lives. Yeah. And I think it's good that we talk about this stuff from time to time. Certain channels, this is their main focus. Other channels, this isn't. But I think it's good that we bring it out there and we use social media. So thanks for having a show like this. I mean, it's way to start off 2022, right?
And it got my mind thinking about a lot of things, and it's good to have you guys here. You've really opened my mind up to how I look at things or how I view things, and I think it's good. You need to kind of keep your mind open to new ideas and new possibilities, and it really has me thinking, what do I want to do? What can I do different this year? And like I said, it's been a chat that we've had the last 3 years, but the many times it's just been like, well, we're going to take my neighbor to the range, or we're going to get grandma a revolver, stuff. But it's been good to really have this deep conversation on where do things really lead? Where do things really end up? And what can we do to ensure that our freedom doesn't go away? Whether it's as a consumer or as a local advocate or as a member of our local firearms association. I think it's good to have these discussions once in a while because we do talk a lot of guns and ammo on this channel a lot. It's fun. They're fun. It's fun to talk about. And we might even be going back to that next Saturday. Right. But stuff like this, I think it's important that people just kind of get their mindset, on what they want to do and how it should be done. And we'll see if we can make a change. So, all right, make sure you guys head on over to Squibload's channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe. I did a super chat on John's show the other night promoting Squib's channel, so get over there and subscribe and give him lots of feedback and tell him about the film quality of his videos and how his coffee palette is spot on. And no, I'm just messing with you guys.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, make the ignorant comments.
You're supposed to use deionized water, not filtered water. It's
yeah, and then you go click on this channel has no videos. Okay, make your own video, jackhole.
Then go make your own review. Yeah, but appreciate the thumbs down anyway because it just oh man. All right. So make sure you guys check out the Squibload and Squiblift channels and Kingpin. Anything you want to say before we go, man? I appreciate having you here today.
Super glad to be here. Always appreciate a good conversation with you guys. Everybody out in the chat was rocking it today. And technically, Travis, you did have the most efficient show because if you look at the title, Tony answered that with 22 LR.
22 LR, all other calibers, so bow down before 22 LR. So,
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, we did come up with an answer for it. It is pretty viable as a cartridge. I won't argue with him on that. So,
But thanks for having me.
Yeah.
G23 is coming up. Rick's Life is coming up. DM Foss is out there, does all kinds of great stuff. Gizzard Gary, everybody. Just everybody have a good day, and thanks for joining us.
Like and subscribe to everybody here on the panel. Get over there and like and subscribe to G23. Make sure you like and subscribe to Rick's Life as I See It. Again, lots of good content for you to watch and keep you warm this weekend while we got this winter storm rolling in right now. You know, it's I definitely want to just, you know, kind of get close to some podcasts and listen and be entertained and have a good time and start planning for 2022. So heck yeah.
And Clover did show up when we talked about 22 LR.
I saw that Clover Tech. Did somebody say 22 LR? That is his caliber, man. That's it right there. George Grayson Cat says, Happy New Meow. Okay, thank you, George Grayson Cat. Might have some connection to Gizzard Gary. I don't know. Gizzard Gary was out there. All the fun people are showing up at the end, man. I guess we should have went another 4 hours, or another 2 hours. But we'll you know, next week will probably be a fairly short chat, but we'll make it a fun one. If you guys catch it on the replay, that's great. It will be at an earlier time, just to give you a heads up. I'll post the time later on this week when I post the topic and stuff, and then I want to see everybody there. Firefighter, all right, man. Firefighter 09100. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, if you have a SIG SP 2022, it is the year to carry it. That
the
is
year of the SIG.
My Every Second Matters gun is going to be tomorrow. So
there you go. I was thinking about buying one, man. That'd be a good one to pick up for 2022. Get an SP 22 in 2022. I thought about buying one before and
do it. They're
357 SIG or yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're pretty. And you got that. Yeah, we'll talk guns later. That's fine. But
yep.
Cool, man. All right, thanks for being here, dude. I appreciate it, and I'll make sure I get you on the list next week too. We'll just invite you if you can be in here. Great. If not,
I only work one Saturday every month.
Oh, you lucky man. All right, cool. All right, and single shot. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah. Quick announcement. I am moving, or have opened up a new account on Rumble.
Okay.
So if folks want to go over there, we could post almost anything over there on Rumble.
Get ready to rumble, baby. Rumble on Rumble.
And I've got a few subs already. I appreciate it. I appreciate the folks here on YouTube that have taken a few minutes of their time to go over and check my videos out.
Heck yeah, dude.
I'm a truck driver, folks, so making videos all the time is a little bit on the difficult side. But I do support the 2A in every way that I can possibly do. The biggest thing is getting into legislative things. As I mentioned before, we're responsible for this mess. We've got to clean it up. But I want to wish everybody a safe and happy New Year. Take care. Drive carefully. Try to put a little bit of God back in our lives, because he who seeks the Lord knows what's going to happen in this world, because God will show you. But
there you go.
So, just take it day by day. Try to get involved if you can. And when it comes election time, do the background checks on these guys that you're voting for. That's the biggest thing that we can do.
Do your research, man.
While we were chatting, I was looking at one of the smaller Republicans who's running against DeWine and Renacci, and I'm like, damn, I might have to vote for him.
Yep.
Do your research, man. Do your research. Make sure it's good.
That's right. That's right.
Well, he's a small town farmer in the more rural parts, so he knows what this state's all about. He's not going to kowtow to the big cities in the state.
There you go, man. Cool.
But everybody, remember, America moves by truck. If you got it, a truck brought it. So keep that in mind.
All right. Joining us on the YouTube side was a little Gizzard Gary saying, bye, Felicia. Squibload said, bye, Alicia. Rupan RX said, Happy New Year. I'm out of here. Gizzard Gary said, try this time tomorrow. I'm betting you'll have more luck. LOL. So Gizzard Gary's show is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. That's Kansas Standard Time. Is that correct? Central Time. Kingpin out there says, peace. Kingpin, thanks for being here, buddy. I do appreciate it. Clovertack was out there also. Ozzy Osbourne said bark. He's always barking at the moon. Squibload said that 22 LR stands for 22 light and ridiculed. So that's, and then 22 shorts, that little 22 shorts, the little kid that you never put in the game. That's right. Never. He's always the little kid that just sits on the side. He's the kid that never gets chosen for shirts and skins ever. So that's right. George Grayson Cat, thanks for being here. Gunmetal Guy, Gizzard Gary, Tacos and French Fries, Young Gun 995, M. Gabriel in the house. Let's see. M. Gabriel says the one dude all caliber may change by next week. That's right. We might be investing in something else. Gunmetal Guy USA, Fiend Dog 27, Tacos and French Fries, DM Foz, Agorizer out there, Tony York out there to Midnight Range TM joining us. Good morning, Travis. Let's see, Tara Smith out there watching. Got the usual suspects watching on the YouTube side. So Jason Stewart's out there too. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Take care. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye,
Bye,
Alicia.
Alicia.